hello, people of Earth. My name is Archer, and this is episode 15 of Back to the Mat. This is a show where I, a former wrestling fan, jump back into the world of pro wrestling. You know, essentially, this is me catching up, reacting, and rediscovering all the things I used to love about pro wrestling. So, if you've ever taken a break, or if you just want to see what it looks like from a former fan jumping back into the world of pro wrestling, here it is. Here's the show for you. Because I will be breaking down Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and every single PLE moving forward. Now, here's the thing. I understand that tonight's episode and also last week's episode, with full transparency, I'm combining the two shows. Last week I was trying something new, and I was like, let me try combining SmackDown and Raw as one episode. This week I'm doing the same thing. To be honest, don't know what the proper format should be moving forward. Like, what's the best fit for me? I'm still kind of figuring that out. Because between life and just doing this as an experiment on the side to kind of rediscover, something that was lost, it's kind of hard to do, to just keep up and maintain and manage and keep it fully sustaining from a week to week basis, right? The show must go on. And so I've been cutting corners here and there, trying to see, well, do people like it when I combine the two? Do people like individual shows? And to be honest, I've even been playing around with a little bit of, well, not playing around with, I've been thinking of the idea of just doing a live stream, like a live episode, and just going for it, and just be like, you know what, let's just react to it as I'm watching the show. That might that could be something I consider, or should I say, incorporate. Not sure yet. Nothing is set in stone. We are 1 week before Mania, and for me to just shift the entire structure of how the show is, you know, for me to shift the entire structure of the show would be quite insane, to be honest with you. But these are the things that I'm thinking about, because I do realize, like, after you watch Monday Night Raw, there's like a 24 to 48-hour window of content to just push out into the public's face so that they can, maximize and enjoy it before SmackDown starts, before the PLEs, and so on and so forth. And so I'm just trying to figure that out. And unfortunately, tonight's show is also going to be one of those off the cuff episodes. Yeah. So anyway, let's just get into it, because there's a lot to talk about, and I don't really have show notes tonight. Tonight is going to be those after hours with Archer. So let's get into it. Oh my goodness. Last week, I shouldn't say last week, it's still the same week, but man, the episode of Raw and SmackDown, it's getting too real to a point, because of this whole TKO and Pat McAfee situation, that I don't really know how to even begin. Because it would, like, honestly, the smart thing for Archer to do was just to review Raw on its own, then to review SmackDown on its own, and then kind of compile something, maybe on a Sunday, to just put everything and fuse it together. But the fact that I didn't do any of that, and now I'm just kind of like talking out of my own head, is kind of gonna be a little here and there with the structure. But it is bizarre watching how TKO has just injected themselves into this Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes storyline, so much so that Monday Night Raw opens up with CM Punk Pipe Bomb number 2. It was quite surreal to listen to that because I did not expect him to say any of those things. I mean, it was one of those things where you go, man, you could tell they just told him, here's the mic, here's what's happening. They want Pat McAfee involved in this Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton thing. Just go out there and pipe bomb, give us another pipe bomb moment. And boy, did he just incinerate Pat McAfee on Monday Night Raw. I mean, it was one of those things where you watch it and you go, man, that I wish I had watched that episode. And it's it's so weird to just come back to wrestling and like this is what's going on. That a bigger entity like TKO is just like saying like, hey, look, we know what you got this whole setup for WrestleMania. We're just gonna shove Pat McAfee in this for no reason at all, and here just just make him part of the show, and it's now becoming this unbearable thing that it doesn't he doesn't need to be here, and I don't really need to tell you this because it's quite obvious, but even like dude coming back I was expecting to be honest I was expecting like a Cody Rhodes finish the story that WrestleMania. I forgot what number that was, and I wish I have written it down. But remember when he finished the story and everything? How amazing! Yeah, like I remember looking at that Mania because I poke my head in every now and then, and so I poked my head in for that WrestleMania. I remember going, man, that may have been the best WrestleMania I've ever watched. And I had no context to any of those storylines or any of those things. I just kind of knew the gist of it. And the gist of it was enough for me to give a damn. And now that I'm like that I've started this experiment this year and I'm like, dude, this is awful. Like this is a bad place to be as a viewer. And I'm like, what is going on? Like Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, the storyline is already there. We know that they have history. What is it, like 20 years of history together? Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to fabricate some fiction because you can just go back into their past and just pull any moment that you see of their interactions together and just go, yeah, that's the catalyst for how we got here. That's what you need to do. You don't need to incorporate a football player, former football player, whatever his I don't know his position in football is, but like you don't need to insert his entity in this. You don't need to put like by the way, why Pat McAfee? That's the other thing. I don't understand. I know Ari Emanuel is his agent, but I'm like, really? What that cannot he could not have been the first choice. It had to be somebody else. And you know what the craziest part is? Because I thought about running the show as like okay, let me go through it line by line um, for how Pat is for like his promo and everything and Punk's promo. But at the end of the day, I'm like, let me just speak to it rather than regurgitate their thing and then base it off of that because that seems like a whole hell of a lot of time to crack everything down, especially when I have like 5 subscribers listening to this. I mean, I do put effort into this. I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm saying like to go through it. I mean, at the end of the night, combined, it's probably what like 5 hours, and I'm sure I can. I'm sure it's online, but like, good lord, to crack everything down bit by bit would be kind of tedious. Anyway, where was I? You know what the funny thing is? I've been thinking about this. I hate saying it because I don't want him back, but The Rock is probably the reason. The Rock is probably the only thing that could save this storyline. And he has to show up at WrestleMania. If he does not show up at WrestleMania and make himself involved in this, this will all be for nothing. It is already downhill after SmackDown's episode. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is just awful story. I don't want to listen to this anymore. Like I'm so done with this. We're like Randy Orton storyline thing, Randy Orton Cody Rhodes thing. I'm like, I don't care, guys. This was so easy to tell. Your whole thing was there. The legacy. He punted his father in the head. I'm like, dude, you got so much data, so much material to go off of, and you still managed to blow this up into a billion pieces and have nobody care. And to save this at WrestleMania, you're gonna need The Rock. The Rock is gonna have to be like, look, I'm the reason that Pat McAfee is like over there. I'm the reason that you're having a hard time finishing your. I mean, he finished the story, but you're having a hard time navigating through this new era of that I've created, or whatever the hell you want to say. But The Rock's involvement has to happen, right? Because he's on the board of directors. He controls the show. He could be like, look, man, I'm not done with you yet. You know, they can go back to the Cena thing, sure, be like, look, I was busy, I didn't have time for you at WrestleMania, whatever the number was, 41. But I want your attention. Now I have it in the form of whatever Pat McAfee. And what did he say? I want your soul. By the way, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but that's been flying off the shelves of he's taking his soul back, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I know enough to know The Rock might be the only guy here to save this. And it's weird. It's weird watching life unfold with this WWE versus TKO thing, and I don't know how much of it is actually like real. Like, like how much of it is real in the sense of like how far back did they know that Pat was going to be involved? Did the first option drop off and Pat just had to be nudged and shoved in there? Like, what happened? How much of this how much of what Pat is saying is coming from Pat rather than someone handing him a script and going, "Hey, look, this is the bullet points, just here's the verbatim, just read." Or is Pat just going out there and going, "All right, something about this, something about that. All right, let me put something together," and then he just trashes the entire system and saying this is X, Y, and Z is why ticket sales are bad. And I'm like, no, the ticket sales are bad because you've priced out the fans. Like this is like it's coming into this thing where it's like, yeah, wrestling is about the storyline and the performance art and all this stuff, but you did this to yourself. Who is buying $40,000 tickets or $20,000 tickets? Like seriously, like what fan is buying that? This is like celebrity money, dude. Like you can't expect a fan to just fork up that kind of cash. The cheapest seat at the nosebleeds are like $200. Or I think now they're 200 or so. They were like something like 300, 400. It's an insane amount to ask of the people on the biggest stage of them all. And this isn't even like a card that anyone's excited about. And Pat McAfee has a nice little clapback on SmackDown. It's literally WWE versus TKO at this point. And TKO is in the form of Pat McAfee, and WWE is in the form of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, just unloading their uh, their frustration on the microphone, right? That's what this whole thing is. And then Pat goes on SmackDown. I know I'm jumping to SmackDown already, but Jesus, I feel like I should just. It's overlapping. That's the problem. What does CM Punk have to do with this? Don't get me wrong. Love the promo on Monday. But like he's not. Is Pat McAfee going to be involved in this match on night two? He's there on night one. Something somehow Pat's going to make himself present. But he has nothing to do with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. What is this? What is happening? And on SmackDown, Pat, dude, he gave away a 25% off promo code. They're realizing their mistake. Just putting that out there. They're like, yeah, okay, we've priced you guys out, but here's a promo code, but only for night one. I am. I remember watching this going, oh, you done messed it up, guys. It's kind of you're literally telling the people who bought the tickets before the code, going, hey, you're stupid enough to pay for it, huh? You're that dumb that you overpaid for those tickets, and all you had to do was wait 1 week before WrestleMania, and you could have got 25% off night one. And I don't know, man. If you're a fan going, how do you feel about that? How do you feel that you just bought a ticket before that promo code popped up, and all of a sudden you're like, well, now I feel like they're laughing at me because I bought the ticket, and now there's a better deal, and now they're calling me stupid and dumb for thinking that that was a good idea when I could have just waited. Now, this isn't going to solve the problem. There's still low ticket sales. I think there's like 40,000 tickets. They're not going to look. They're on track to not breaking last year's record or breaking whatever attendance record it seems. So this is there lies the problem. But by the way, did we ever get Randy's reason for why he's even listening to Pat McAfee? Can I just put that out there? Why is Randy giving a damn about what does Pat McAfee have where Randy goes, you know what? All your experience in the wrestling, what all your experience as a man, yeah, I'll listen to Pat. He's the voice of reason. Like, there's nothing that Pat has that would give Randy or any wrestler any indication or any reason to believe what he's saying. Like, Pat says these things, but it's not really coming from Pat McAfee. It's coming from like TKO or somebody else. But it's not believable because it's not like if it came from like a Triple H, I'd be like, all right, I can see something. I can see why he believes Triple H. I see why Triple H has shifted his idea towards like going for the kill rather than being like babyface versus babyface. But who is Pat McAfee? He's got no. His words don't have weight in the conversation. You know what I mean? That's where. That's what I'm looking for, really. Where is that, right? Um, but yeah, that's. I feel like I took care of that storyline. It's funny. Like I'm gonna think of something 10 minutes later, and be like, ah, I should have said this. Which is why I think it's a better idea moving forward than I do it show by show. Because I feel like you would have gotten a better idea if I had broken down Monday Night Raw and then SmackDown, as opposed to combining the two after everything has already transpired. But this is all in the past at this point. I'm gonna try to do like a WrestleMania prediction breakdown video as well. On top of everything, I know next week is Road to WrestleMania, and I should have honestly started the show off with that, but it's it's quite intense, you know. There's so much happening. There's so much content. There's so many things that I kind of want to put out there. I'm really excited. Look, this WrestleMania is not amazing, but it's still something worth getting excited about. Still something worth talking about, discussing. Um, and I can't wait. I really can't. Let me see. What else do we have on tap here? Let's let's see. Okay, give me 1 second here. What am I most excited for? I'm looking at the card right now, and we're gonna look. We're gonna still do SmackDown, Raw, this and that, but tonight. But let's go. You know what? Jesus. I'm jumping all around here. What else do we got? CM Punk opening segment. Then we follow it up by, oh God, whoever. I mean, look, LA Knight versus Austin Theory and Logan Paul. Feel like it was bound to happen with the dude. There's too many celebrities. this year's Mania. Why? I think I've counted like five at this point. Lil Yachty, I Show Speed, Jelly Roll. Who is the other? There's more, dude. There's so. I know there's more. I can't even. Oh God, I don't even want to know honestly. Pat McAfee. Oh jeez. There's one more. I know it. Somebody. I know I'm missing somebody. I can't place my finger on that. Somebody. Hey, they'll show up at some point. Um, maybe it is just four. I don't know. But, but, where were we? That fight was happening. Not excited about it whatsoever. Don't really care. It's like a filler, you know. Who cares? Then we have Finn Balor versus JD McDonough. No contest. Um, yeah, they spoiled the demon Finn Balor, didn't they? It would have been nice. I had a feeling he was gonna come out as a demon, but knowing that it's going to happen 1000% now kind of ruins it. You know, it kind of takes the surprise out of it. And I'm like, would have been nice. Would have been nice to just have that moment, you know, just of surprise. Like, yes, I was right, and yes, oh, it's perfect. He's coming out as the Demon King. Then we have that little sit down with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. I'll be honest, I said it 2 weeks ago. This is the only women's fight that I'm actually interested in. I don't care about the others. There is something about that Becky Lynch promo she did 2 weeks ago that just brought me into this thing. I care now more than ever. I've never really been a Becky Lynch fan, but this is making me care. And it's crazy because I would say number two is the Stephanie Vaquer Liv Morgan uh, women's title fight. And then last is the one that WWE has spent so much um, time in putting together in terms of promos and matches and everything, and that's the Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. I don't care about that match at all. I can't wait. I'll say it every week. I can't wait for that match to happen because I'm making my dinner. I'm gonna order that pizza and I'm not gonna care about that match. There's something about that match that I'm just like, there's nothing there for me, is there? The promos are shit. The storyline is crap. They're involving more characters in there, and I just don't even take them seriously. And they're doing too much when it doesn't need to be. But at the same time, I'm not even believing their promos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like I care more about Becky Lynch and this AJ Lee storyline than any. It's like, dude, I'm not even joking. I'm thinking about it. It's probably Brock versus Oba, and then Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. And it's one of those things where you go, they kept it so simple, you know? They kept it so simple. It didn't need like all these back and forth and this new stable being created and all this other crap. It was like, hey, you know, I've been here right after you were gone. You quit. A couple nights after WrestleMania, you got lost for 10 years and now you're back, and all of a sudden you think, you know, life is gonna pick up where you left off. While I've been building my empire here, this and that Becky Lynch is saying, and it's like, yeah, like why am I rooting for AJ Lee? Like what? Like you left, and now you're back, and now you have the title, but you don't really care. You're not really here forever. You're here for WrestleMania. You're here for maybe a month more, and then you're gone. And then you're gone. And that's realistically what's gonna probably happen. I think Becky's gonna take it, and she's like, she's not lying, right? But it's it's keeping me interested, I would say. So then what happens? What happens after? But yeah, let's see. Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Yeah, this is all leading to towards Gunther versus Brock, isn't it? Right? Like Gunther, what does he do? He shakes Paul Heyman's hand. He pulls him in, and then he says, you know, Paul says, "Look, I owe you. I owe you for saving me. It's a big thank you." And then Gunther says something along the lines of, "You owe me so much more than just a very big thank you." And there it is, right? That's Gunther's labeled as the career killer. And who's on their way out next? It's Brock Lesnar. And look, he's got to face Seth Rollins. I think he's gonna beat Seth. It's a little weird that this match is happening, but at the end of the day, neither of them had anything to do. Gunther supposed to face Ray. Ray got injured. I don't even know. By the way, Ray being in that ladder match, I don't know what the hell happened there. Maybe he got cleared a little early, and it was. I mean, he got cleared a little late, and it was like one of those like, oh, okay, he is cleared, but putting together a match at Mania isn't really gonna work out storyline wise because he's a career killer, and to book it 1 week before is too abrupt. And so they just put the two guys that just didn't have anything going on. We are like, well, all right, and then squeezed in Paul Heyman for the Brock Lesnar thing. So that's where that's going. I'm not mad at it. I'm fine with the match. I'm fine with the storyline. It kind of puts Gunther with something to do. It kind of gives Gunther and Seth something to do at Mania rather than just have them sit on the sidelines. I'm cool with it. People online are erupting about this, be like, "Oh, this doesn't make any sense. Ooh, he's a career killer." But Seth is not. You're like, and I'm like, well, who cares? Who cares? It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And then now they set up the Brock versus Gunther thing. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, whatever. Like it's cool, guys. Um, what else? What else do we have? Um, you know what? Let's talk about the most interesting thing heading into WrestleMania, and it's the match I'm excited about the most, which is the Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. They had a contract signing, dude. This is maybe the most simplest storyline that they're telling right now, and it's the best thing going around next to Danhausen. Or I say it's the best thing happening at WrestleMania because we don't even know what Danhausen is doing at WrestleMania. I'm so excited for this. It's like this big. It's weird because on paper it's just like two big guys fighting, but the way they've played this up, the way they've set this up, the way from week to week, just building the anticipation, building the fact that dude, there's a guy out there that's a little bit stronger, that's a little bit bigger than Brock Lesnar, and he's making Brock look inferior. Like Brock is actually taking these bumps. Brock is actually selling the moves. He told him, "Hey, put your foot on my chest." His facial expressions are like showing concern for his his success. I would say at Mania is like, hey, can I actually beat this guy? Can I? This guy has like bested me a few times already. He power bombed me. He threw me over the top rope. You know, he like last week Triple H had to come in and then separate the two and who backed down? It wasn't Oba. Oba didn't take a back step. It was Brock. Brock left the ring. And now you have the contract signing and Brock is just like, dude, they're just nothing really happened. They didn't even sign the contract. They just started throwing chairs at each other. It's just and then the thing is like it's just a big brawl. And this was the only brawl that I like. I remember this was the only brawl that actually. Okay, first of all, there's too many brawls happening from a week to week basis. The Punk Roman, the Randy Cody, and I'm like, those things are just it's overwhelming. But this one actually felt like something. Um, by the way, speaking of brawls, I saw the clip of El Grande Americano. That brawl, that was amazing. They're doing too many brawls, but the one they did on AAA was phenomenal. I remember looking at that going, now that's how you orchestrate a brawl. Dude came out flying. He threw his corpse at, I mean, they're both called the same. They're both called El Grande Americano, but dude threw his corpse. They're flying all over the place. Suits are going everywhere. It's incredible. The way they did it on AAA, phenomenal. The way they did it here, not bad, still pretty good. And I'm just so excited for this fight. This is like two monsters just going at it, and it's simple. It's straightforward. There's no real like. I'm trying to figure out. I don't think they did a promo on each other, which is insane to say. Imagine that. Imagine these two haven't really said much of anything to each other. It's just I'm here to just fight you at WrestleMania, and the fact that there's just these big clashing moments happening from a week to week basis is just like building the anticipation for what is going to happen when the bell rings. It's official. Oba versus Brock together in one location at WrestleMania, and how is this gonna play out? Who's gonna timber? It's weird because, like I said, writing it on paper, it doesn't seem like much, but watching it from a week to week, watching how Brock sells, watching how dominant they're making Oba look, leading into WrestleMania, this is getting my excitement level going through the meter, and it's not even doing like, and there's not even a promo, which is crazy to say. I'm saying the same thing over and over, but I'm excited. This is by far the best thing going, and it's simple. That's the part. It's so goddamn simple. What else do we have? Let's go to SmackDown because I think I've I've literally covered Raw. Um, let's see. Let's see. Cody Rhodes, Pat McAfee. I mean, you know what? We already did this. Why even? Why bother going there? Why bother? By the way, one thing about Pat McAfee, he is really going in with the insults. What did he say? Lick Triple H's ass? Or I want to say kiss, but I don't think he said kiss. He's almost. I think he said lick. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Oh, sorry. You're going to suck Triple H's ass. Okay. So you can get a little bit more of an opportunity. Oh my goodness. I think they just gave him the mic and went, go for it. And it's just, dude, this is terrible. Honestly, it literally is. It's such a bad storyline that he doesn't even need to be here. What else do we got? We got Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. It's another simple storyline that's just becoming more and more intriguing. And the best part is, it's an unsanctioned fight, and I'm like, it needs that. If it was like a like with dude, they fought on scaffolding, they're attacking each other. These dudes are handcuffing and beating each other up. I'm like, this is great. This is the fact that they made it unsanctioned is such a smart move. Where I'm like, yeah, anything goes. Last man to just freaking ha- keep their will together wins. You know, we're gonna get all sorts of mayhem, all sorts of violence. There's gonna be weapons involved. There's gonna be stuff where You know, the rules are just out the window for these two, and it needs it. It needs it, and I'm excited. It's very simple, straightforward, and Nothing fancy. And the promos work. The promos work. Um, what else do we got? Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is clearly the pig that's going out to slaughter, isn't he? He won the championship off a guy who should have never lost it, only for that to be the setup to fight Trick Williams. And Trick Williams at WrestleMania is gonna beat his ass and hold up that title, and that's gonna be his moment to shine as the new United States championship. It's interesting how nobody likes Sami Zayn. Dude, these fans don't give a damn. You know what's crazy? I don't give a damn because what they did to what's his name, Carmelo Hayes, just awful. This dude open challenge every single night for months, just putting it out there. I want competition, and then what was it? 2 weeks before Mania, they and he's defending, he's winning. 2 weeks before Mania, he loses it to Sami Zayn of all people, and we all know what the score is. It's all setting up Trick Williams to win the title at Mania. I'm new here, and even I can see that's happening. And I'm not even mad about it because when Trick wins, I'm gonna be like, dude, he deserves it. He's great on the mic. He's entertaining. Dude, he's making so much more sense. Like, remember last week? Remember last week? He's like, why won't you give Carmelo Hayes the title shot? Like, what are you afraid of? You know, this guy's been putting it. He's literally saying what everyone's thinking, and he's the heel. He's the heel. He's the guy that's not supposed to. He's supposed to just be the bad seed. No, there's and I'm like, yeah, he's making sense. Like, dude, you kind of stole this from him, didn't you? You kind of just took like his win, and uh nobody likes Sami Zayn, dude. This he's trying. I'll give him that. He's trying, but Trick Williams is on a hot streak. He's literally got the it factor, the everything, and Sami Zayn is just in the way. That's literally what this is. Sami Zayn has to play Mr. Bad Guy. And why is Little Yachty in this? I don't know. He the why he's like the late addition, but the thing is I don't even have a problem with him because he's just kind of minding his own business for the most part. And I'm like, all right, just don't get too involved here. Don't make it about you. And I'm like, good, he's not. But yeah, I'm enjoying the Trick Williams. You know, he's new to me, but he's making all the he's saying all the right things. He's like, look, I didn't spend 20 years to get to this spotlight like everybody else, and that he this is verbatim what he says. He says, and that may be the truth, but it's also true that they call me the anointed one, and favor ain't fair. Maybe that was a bad quote to pick out, but he essentially says, and this is also verbatim. So whether you like it or not, whether you like it or you hate it, it don't make me ever mind. I'm going to build. Okay, that was clearly looking at my notes. I thought I had one that was gonna make a lot more sense, but this was more of like one of those promo things. Just disregard I even mentioned any of that. By the way, actually no, I already said it last week. Matt Cardona is just losing left and right. He came back just to be the squash, didn't he? And oh my god, I'm looking at my thing right now. I don't really have notes, but I have like bullet points and stuff, and I just kind of like r- scribbled some X, Y, and Z. Danhausen, I gotta make a video about this guy. I keep saying it every week, and I'm like, this is maybe the best thing going on. Friday Night SmackDown. It's not just Friday Night SmackDown. It's Monday Night Raw too. But the thing is, he's more. I think of his storyline in um is is on the SmackDown side. So I'm gonna say he's right now probably the best thing on SmackDown, next to Trick Williams. But that's for now. Um, dude, that match he had with by the way, he is not a great wrestler, but the way he turned it around, like on how he cursed Kit Williams with the pyro. Oh my god, it's the best. This guy is the best. I was hoping he would have his first match at WrestleMania, but what are you gonna do? That would have been awesome. Danhausen has like this appeal. He's the number one merch seller. He's getting all the views on social media and everything. This guy is off to a great start. Even his freaking storyline with the Miz, he's like, I cursed the Miz. All I want is for you to mentor me. Uh, he has demand housings. He wants his face on the truck, a blimp, a camera boy. I'm like, dude, this is the most fun thing going on. The freaking fireworks go off for this guy, and this is how he wins a match. Whatever shenanigans, whatever weird stuff is happening, I'm here for it. I love the Danhausen. It's amazing. I can't wait to see what they have planned for him at WrestleMania. This is absolutely entertainment, and the only thing I kind of wish is I wish his wrestling was a little better. It kind of does look like his first day, sort of. Only because I'm like, it's not like he has the wrestler's build or anything. He kind of just has the like. It doesn't look like a full complete. You know, it's like okay, he's got the bit, but the wrestling isn't there. And honestly, here's the funny thing: I don't even care if he wrestles. But after tonight, I'm like, I think he's gonna have to wrestle quite more. Once they showed it, I was like, oh, they're gonna have to. He's gonna have to wrestle more. Like our truth is a comedy bit, but our truth can wrestle, man. That dude can still. He's so athletic and built, and he goes to the gym and he works out and he looks the WWE superstar part. Danhausen does not, but he's got the uh, comedic side to offset those things, and that's what's great. But I'm like, if he just had a our truth level athleticism and in ring ability, even a little bit of that, great. But he's got the magic, so I'm sure watching a few more will be like, okay, I guess this is what we're getting. And I don't hate Danhausen. I was on the side of Danhausen when they booed him on his debut. I was like, give this man a chance. Give him time, because you hate him now, but you don't know what you're getting. And I didn't even know who he was. But I was like, at least give him a shot. Don't just shit on him the moment he comes out because you thought it was Jericho. So, yeah, good and bad. What else do we have? I'm looking at the WrestleMania card. Dude, is Liv Morgan, is that thing on her dome gonna heal? That was a hard clash of heads, and that was a brutal shot um, into the television. Yikes. She should honestly be healed up by then, but who knows? Still might see something. You know, we're gonna go through more in depth as the weeks go on. I'm gonna really commit to doing a Raw episode. I am really thinking about committing to doing a live stream. Not entirely sure how I want to structure that or form that, or should I wait till the Monday after Raw? Oh, Monday after Mania. Not really entirely sure, but I'm excited. I think that's the show, to be honest with you. I don't really have much else to talk about. Let me see. Do I have anything else on the list here? Uh, I mean, not really. I'm gonna really try to do the Raw episode. Actually, let's just finalize that right now. Yeah, let's put it on the screen. There it is. Um, I will commit to a Raw episode, or I would say like a Raw recap, essentially a Raw review. Um, the question is, do I do a live stream with a post show? Do I just do a post show? Do I do like do I do it how it is now? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. This is like the one of the weird things that I'm just like, well, how do I want how what is the best way for you to digest my content? Because I'll build it around what you guys honestly want to see. Because I came back to watching wrestling. The room is on fire. Uh, like TKO versus WWE, and I'm like, well, how do I present this to you? Look, if you're interested in what you're listening to and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and honestly comment below. The algorithm loves that shit. The algorithm loves it when you comment. The algorithm loves it when you share it with your your friends and your family and this and that who are interested um, in what I'm putting out. So please do me that favor. Um, I will, yes, I will commit to a Raw. I haven't done it for 2 weeks. I've just kind of compacted the two shows together, but because this is the road to WrestleMania, um, I will commit to Raw. And yes, starting next, or like starting on the Raw recap, I will bring back the timestamps and I will bring back the old thumbnails and everything. Apologies, it's just hard to kind of think through some of those things, especially when you don't have the structure laid out anymore. But yes, I will do timestamps as I usually do. I'll have the delicious thumbnails that people like looking at, and I will break down the show bit, well, not bit by bit, but I will break down the show. The good, the bad, the ugly. This has been episode 15 of Back to the Mat. Thank you for watching. My name is Archer, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah.